Everybody, this is week 2 of Moto-Tech's new video blog that we're doing out there that we're posting on Facebook, so that way everybody can be able to view us. Everybody that likes us, we share it on almost every page out there that we're members of. We're going over everything from 2 wheels to 4 wheels to 3 wheels, from street to road track to drag strip to dirt, to flat track racing, which we're going to be talking about today. We're going to go over gear. We're going to go over basic maintenance classes once a week. We do ask that if you have any questions, please type them out. We'll send them over to the person we're talking to. At that time, they'll answer the questions after our broadcast is done. If you guys have anybody you want to, or any ideas you want us to talk about, or anybody you want us to be able to reach out to and do interviews like we're going to do now, please let us know. Send us messages on our Facebook page at Moto-Tech Racing 16, or give us a call at 251-264-9495, and we'll be able to write everything down and get these actually broadcasted for you guys. But without further ado, today we're going to be talking to Damion Torrance, who's a flat track racer. He's a local one here. You guys probably all seen him on some of the pages, the Northwest Florida page, maybe Quarter Penny. I know he's on Bike Life. He's on Florida Bike Life, Florida R1. I mean, there's all over the place. And you probably always see him win almost every race in first place by at least 2 or 3, four-wheel lengths there on that one. And I don't know how he does it, but we're going to talk to him a little bit today. So without further ado, thanks for joining us, Damion.
Oh, thank you.
And also, so kind of give us a background, like an intro background to you from the time you got introduced to the very first thing that had a wheel on it to now where you're at now.
Well, as far as like motor wheels go, I first got a CRF 80 for Christmas one year. My dad bought it for me, and I was riding around that. Here in Florida, we have these little tall grass things that grow up in the woods, and it was not really good for 2 wheels. So went out, talked to my mom. We went halvesies on a little TRX 250. So we got that. I rode that around for a while. Pretty much destroyed that because I was a kid and didn't really know what I was doing. So then I got into later on, say 2008, I think. I bought a TRX 450R Honda. Rode that around, hit all the dirt roads around here, went to some of the MX tracks around here. Thought it was alright. Then I went off in the military for 5.5 years. Came back, and I was like, well, I got this 4-wheeler just sitting here. What am I going to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, hey, we're doing flat track races, so got into flat track that way.
Nice. That's a good little linear stepping stone there from something small to now making first place. I bet your parents are proud on that one.
Oh yeah, my mom's excited. She just likes the fact that I'm able to do what I love to do.
Yeah, I think every parent should be that way, and I think everybody should be happy if they're able to do something in a power sport, whether it's 2 wheels, 4 wheels, jet skis, boats, anything outside the norm of going to work and then coming home and cooking dinner and going to bed on that monotony on that. So
oh, definitely a big stress reliever there.
Huh. Well, for people that don't know flat track or they don't understand or have never heard of flat track, what is flat track?
To me, it's kind of hard to explain because I'm still kind of new in the whole situation. But a lot of people know more of the car aspect to it. Like whenever they race cars around dirt and everything, it's pretty much the exact same thing, just on a smaller scale, from what I see, anyways. But as far they also have TT courses, which is time trial courses on dirt as well, and it's got small little jumps in it and right-hand turns, left-hand turns, corners. It's a whole other situation to the whole flat track.
Oh, nice. So it's basically you're in your 4-wheel and you're going in a giant oval, as fast as possible.
As far as whenever they say flat track, and the TT courses is, like I said, it's more like a road course, but on dirt.
Oh, nice. So how many laps and what justifies who's better than the other?
Okay, so as far as laps go, we normally have heat races, we have practice, heat races, and then we have our actual feature race. And the laps, when we have our riders meeting, we kind of decide on how many laps we're going to. Normally it's in between, let's say 10 to 15. Every once in a while we'll have like an Ironman race, which is like 25 to 30. That can get pretty hectic.
Oh, I bet. Oh, nice.
And as far as being like somebody that's better than anybody else, it's pretty much just rider skill. To a certain extent, you can have a stock bike and still come out on top.
Okay. Is it based on podium placing, or is it based on time trials, or is it a combination of both?
It's a combination of both. So at least the way we do it anyway. And our practice times will determine how we line up for our heat races, which will be in a straight line across the thing. And then if we get too many there, then we'll go to a second row. And that'll determine how we place there. And then once we do our heat races, we'll go around. And then whatever we place as far as like podium, first, second, third, fourth, that will determine our feature lineup per se.
Okay. Well, that's interesting, because a lot of us don't know what flat track is. I've known it because I've known you, so that's how I know flat track. But there's a lot of people out there that probably have never even been to a dirt pit, more or less a flat track racetrack area there. What kind of gear and equipment what do you need? The minimum to start getting into it, and two, what kind of four-wheeler are you running, and why are you running that?
For stereo.
Okay, so as far as gear-wise, we'll talk about safety for a minute. As far as gear-wise, boots, pants, jersey, helmet, glove, the typical quote-unquote motocross gear that you would use. Me personally, I run Thor and Fox. I've always liked them. They're super comfortable. They're not necessarily the cheapest thing out there.
No, but they are pretty good.
They still have good protection. You don't want to run cheap stuff, because then you'll end up getting hurt.
I understand. When it comes to flat track, what kind of mindset, what kind of safety is going through your head, and what could possibly happen, as in like worst case scenario, if you don't have right gear and you're going above your skill set, XYZ, or if you're not even focused in the game.
Okay, so I'll use one of my personal experiences that whenever I first got out on the track, my first time ever being on the flat track surface, I was going around and I thought I was the best thing out there, and I was coming in too hot, and I blew the corner, ran into the fence, and I was just hanging over the fence and everything.
Wow.
If I didn't, I hit my head on, hit the fence, and if I didn't have the right gear on, I don't know what would have happened.
Probably won't be racing today.
The biggest thing is don't go over your skill set. Even if it takes you 2 or 3 times being on the track to get used to the track, let it be there. It'll come with time.
All right, that's a good point of view, point to put out to everybody, because everybody's always worried about the guy next to him. They're like, oh, this guy's able to do things 10 times better than me. I need to be 11 times right now. Taking those huge gaps between where you're at and where you want to be and trying to jump to that is not only is it unsafe for you, but it's unsafe for all the other riders around you, whether you're in a race like you are, in a professional race, or if you're just on a practice trial, or if you're on the road itself. With everybody riding next to each other, some people are just better than others at that point. So that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up to everyone here on that one. So, what got you into want to be into flat track alone? Because I know there's a whole lot of different types of dirt racing that you can do out there, but why flat track?
Well, I got into flat track because I run four-wheelers. I have a Honda TRX 450R that I just, like I said earlier, I just had after I got out of the military. And the local track up here, they're like, well, we're running four-wheelers. They normally run dirt bikes and go-karts at that track. They're like, oh, well, we're thinking about running four-wheelers. I was like, all right, cool. I have a four-wheeler system. Why not just clean it up, tune it up, and go see what it's about? And that's how I got started with that. I just had it here. That's pretty much what it was. I just had it in the backyard.
So you kind of just fell into that one. Nice.
Oh, yeah. Everybody wants to know why I didn't get into dirt cars and everything else. Well, I had the four-wheeler. I didn't really have to spend any money to get that. I already had it.
I gotcha. Nice. Why did you pick the Honda over, like, let's say, a KFX 450 or, a Raptor 660 or 700 or?
Me personally, I did a lot of testing before I got that bike. I sat on a lot of them. I never liked the Raptors. They're just too heavy for me. I didn't like the way they handled. That's just my personal preference. And honestly, I think the Hondas are a lot easier to work on. And I do all my own work, do all my own maintenance and everything else. And I just thought it was super simple to work on.
I got you. I'm really glad you brought up a point. Our last person we had was Nathan Beasley on Dragon. He's also he's in motocross. He's working on motocross, getting more professional there. You brought up a point there, is that you sat on all these different ones and you just didn't feel right on these other bikes, or other four-wheelers that are there. And that's a good point to put out to everybody out there that's watching right now, is that the ones that want to get into the sport, or the ones that are already in the sport, everybody's always buying whatever they can get their hands on at that whatever price point they're at. But it's not, you don't make the bike makes you in that sense. If you're not comfortable on that four-wheeler, you're not going to be first place ever, because you're not comfortable on it. And two, if it's not geared to your design, your shape, your weight, your height, how you sit, your posture, and all, you're going to be so uncomfortable that your mind is not going to focus on that finish line down there. You're thinking, this is, my back hurts, my foot hurts, I can't get my toe, I can't hit the brake. You're thinking about that instead of trying to get around the track as fast as possible. And also, I do appreciate you bringing that up. You're the second person that's just randomly brought that up out of nowhere. So if we have two people here that professionally race are telling you that, then there's a reason why that, that's a point that they're bringing up there. So that's awesome and all. So I'm really glad you're able to be able to talk with us. I know today's going to be a short, like a little short one we have here. What I like to do is I like to end it with you talking, whatever advice you want to give out to everybody, whether they want to get into flat track or not, or if they're just on the road, or if they're riding dirt for practice on there. Any other kind of safety points you want to put out that's in the back of your head that you always try to push to everybody, but now you can broadcast it out to a much bigger audience. And lastly on there, if you have any sponsors out there that you want to throw their name out there that helps you out, whoever they are out there, that way they get a little bit of recognition as well, because without them, everything will be out of your pocket and all kind of thing. And then if you end it with a little bit with the sponsorships on what sponsors actually do for you and how you got your sponsors, that way people understand that just because you have a sponsor, it doesn't mean you get a TRX 450 brand new, big board, turboed out with superchargers, NOS kits, and they just hand you a $50,000 one saying, hey, go win today. And if you got one of those, definitely shout out to those guys if they bought you one of those. So go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. I can't stress enough about safety. I really can't. Even if you're not the fastest guy out there, let's say you're just getting out there and you're a new guy and you're sitting next to a professional racer, hold your line. Don't worry about him. Just do what you do. Don't try to be fastest. Don't try to beat him, because 90% of the time, if it's your first time, you're probably not going to beat him. And don't be all crazy all over the racetrack. If he's going to get around you, he's going to get around you. I can't stress that enough. Just keep what you're doing, do what you do, and don't try to freak out if he's behind you, because if he's going to get around you if he wants to. I can't think. There's so many people that I can't thank enough for this. Lucky 7 Motorsports, they helped me out with my bike so much. They did most of my powder coating for me. They helped me out with parts.
That's good.
You're absolutely right. You're not going to find people that are just going to give you a bike and say, here, go race. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. Eagles Talon, they helped me out with all my stitching, sewing, everything that I need for just any. I got a bag that I got in there, a gear bag that I had them stitch all up, and they helped me out with that. Eagle Rider of Pensacola, they're a Harley rental shop down here. Rent Harleys, whatever. They helped me out with all my oil. Messenger Hot Rods and Customs, they help me out with all my paint work that I need, anything like that, any custom metal work. He helps me out with that. LS4 Fibers, they help me out with my hood. Empire Industries, they do amazing exhaust work. And Jet Lab Carbs, they help me out with all my carb work. And JP, thanks for the video and everything else that you do with your. You're the only one in town with a dyno.
Oh,
so
thanks. I appreciate it.
Any in the area, actually. I think you're the only one with a 4-wheeler dyno. So
I
I'm
do
gonna
think
have to
we're
get you up.
for a little bit out, at least within 50 miles that I know of. So, so awesome. I really appreciate your time. I know you have a very hectic work day and then training and racing and all. If anybody wants to come see you race, where would they go?
Um, here in Pensacola, you can look them up on Facebook. They normally have our race schedules posted for just about anywhere around here. I can't stress enough, if you have a sport 4-wheeler, come out and race. It is an absolute blast.
Nice. Maybe one day when I grab one, I definitely will. I'm still the road track kind of guy, so, but I'll definitely try to get out there. I'll try not to pass you on my first time.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And everybody out there in Facebook land, thank you for watching the video. I know these are a little long, but I mean, we got to give them the time to be able to broadcast any information that they need to put out to you guys to get you interested in their sport that they're in, because there is a wide variety of things out there to do with power sports that a lot of people just don't know. I mean, heck, we have something very local here in Pensacola. You can either go watch or you can actually jump in, and pertaining that you have the right gear, the right equipment, and you pay your dues to get registered and all. You just can't just jump in there and hopefully you're going to win first place. But if you do win first place, and I think Damion at least will come over and shake your hand after that on that one. So, but if you have any questions for Damion, please type them out on the bottom. He is on our Moto-Tech Facebook page, so he'll be able to read whatever there's there. He'll either send messages there or he'll PM you indirectly. Either way, it's up to him on how he wants to answer them on that. And hopefully you guys go out there and you can watch him race there on Friday nights, right?
This next weekend it's Friday. Sometimes it's Saturday. We got next weekend we actually have it'd be this weekend coming up. Friday and Saturday race. One here in Pensacola, and then our Saturday race is at Southern Raceway in Milton.
Oh, nice. And how much is it if somebody just wants to spectate? Do you know by chance?
It all depends on the track. Pensacola dirt track's normally like $5 to come watch, and Southern Raceway, it all depends on what they're doing that night.
Oh, that's actually pretty cheap. So something to do. Bring the kids, bring the family, and I'll definitely come cheer you on. One last thing: what color is your outfit and your 4-wheeler, so people know exactly what to look for in your number?
I'm number 26. My 4-wheeler's actually black and green. All of my frame, wheels is all green. My 4-wheeler's all black. You can't really miss me if you're looking.
Okay, so it's either we see you with that or we just see you cross the finish line at the very first time before everybody else.
Absolutely, pretty much. They actually put a $150 bounty on me on the last race if anybody was to beat me. They'd put up an extra $150.
Wow, so you hear that, people? You can make $150 here next weekend if you can beat Damion. And also, awesome. Thank you so much, sir.
That's if the bounty's still up.
No worries. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
Bye.